Part 2. Crimson Flower. Ethereal Moon. Beyond Escape. It is Imperial Year 1185. Half a decade has passed since Emperor Edelgard ascended the Imperial throne, yet the continent of Fodlan still remains lost in a tempest of turmoil and bloodshed. In the Holy Kingdom of Fargus, King Dimitri has welcomed Archbishop Rhea and her knights, who were driven out of Garreg to the kingdom capital. As they work to build a unified front, the war with the Empire rages on to the west. Meanwhile, Claude, leader of the Alliance, staves off Imperial intervention by strategically stirring up conflicts between Leicester lords in an effort to feign neutrality. As events unfold, Edelgard and her Black Eagle strike force begin to take action in an attempt to break the war's current state of deadlock.
You. How long do you intend to sleep? Your body is awake. Your eyes must open now, and you must find the strength to stand upon those legs of yours. Like so much rain, a pool of blood has fallen to the ground. As spears and arrows pierce the earth, it weeps. And even now, it weeps. In order to survive, they kill. And so the people of this world are lost in an abyss of suffering. They weep as well. The only one who truly knows the nature of such things is I. Or rather, you. You are a complete and utter fool! Have you not changed one bit? Get on your feet. Right now! I'll coddle you no more! You are just like a child, always needing me to hold your hand.
Hey, are you awake? I'm just a villager here. What are you doing in a place like this? I honestly didn't expect to find someone floating away down the river.
Garreg is upstream of here, but that place was abandoned.
Huh? You don't know? The Church of Saros isn't there anymore. Though, there have been some folks still living there in the 5 years since... well, you know. Regardless, the Imperial Army has taken over now. Are you feeling alright? You didn't hit your head or anything, did you? It's the ethereal moon of the year 1185. It's been nearly 5 years since the monastery fell. Tomorrow was supposed to be the Millennium Festival, but who's got time to think about things like that? Yeah, that's what I said. But with the war and the Archbishop still missing it all, I doubt there's a soul to be found who has enough blessings worth counting. Hey, slow down, will ya? Where do you think you're going? Are you crazy? The Imperial Army is there! Come on, I promise I won't say you're a coward. Just forget about going anywhere near the monastery. You just remember I tried to stop you, got it? It's not on my conscience if you wind up dead. Students? You really are crazy, aren't you? There aren't any kids anywhere near that place anymore. Unbelievable.
"5 years ago to the day. If things had continued on as they were, today would have been the Millennium Festival."
Halt! Who's there?
It can't be. Professor? Is it really you?
But I searched everywhere and never found a trace.
My teacher.
What have you been doing all this time? Where have you been? Joking? At a time like this? You do realize it's been 5 years since you disappeared. Do you have any idea how guilty I felt? How broken my heart was? I searched high and low after you vanished. Although there was no proof, I somehow knew you were alive. All this time, I led everyone as best I could, and fought with all my heart. It's been a difficult path to walk alone.
Welcome back, my teacher. I'm so happy that you're safe. 5 years. Such a short time, but it feels like an eternity ago. Do you still feel the way you did all those years ago? You said then that you would fight at my side no matter how many enemies we should amass. As for me, my resolve has not faltered. I'm determined as ever to see this through to the end. I will defeat the false goddess. I will save this world from those creatures and give humanity its freedom back. So, my teacher, are you prepared to stand with me? I thank you. Truly. Now then, I assume you understand the situation at hand, yes? Another joke? Or are you telling the truth? I suppose you must be. In that case, I'll tell you all that has transpired as you slumbered these past 5 years. And that is where we are now. The war is at a stalemate. Dimitri is the new king of Fargus. It's clear that his territory will continue to support the Church. Meanwhile, Claude's leadership has thrown the Alliance into chaos. He maintains neutrality in their internal conflict. The situation has created a deadlock. We've been awaiting an opportunity for our squadron to return to the monastery. With you in the fray, I believe the state of the war will shift immediately. The Church, as well as the Kingdom and the Alliance. The time has come to eliminate them all. Although we were of different houses, we were companions who lived and learned together. Some of our ranks are hesitant to battle against them, and against the people of their homelands. However, knowing that you're alive is sure to raise their spirits. Good. Well then, I believe it's time for a little reunion. The Black Eagle Strike Force never lost faith. They knew you were alive and have been awaiting your return. Let's not keep them waiting any longer.
Well now, that face is certainly familiar. I am glad to see you alive and well, Professor.
Professor! It's me, Bernie! Do you remember me? I can't believe you're here!
I can't believe it. Is this a dream? Can we really be this lucky?
This is not dreaming. Our professor is with us again. Welcome to the back. I mean, welcome back.
Our group isn't the same without you. I am overjoyed to see you again.
It's been so long. Seeing you again fills my heart with hope.
Great! Now everything will be easy. That's great you're safe, Professor. I'm deeply, deeply moved.
Quite the reunion, isn't it, Professor? Everyone's happy to see you.
Come on, Edelgard. You must be happier than all of us combined. She took it really hard when you disappeared, Professor.
Of course, we did our very best in your absence, and there was never a day that we doubted you would return to us.
Edelgard has been leading us as Emperor. But after you disappeared, it became apparent that you were her anchor. It gives me regret to be admitting this, but our power is not enough. The only one who can be meeting Edelgard's expectations is you, Professor.
Most impressive of all is your uncanny ability to bring a smile to everyone's face.
In the years since you vanished, we have not lost anyone from our ranks.
We all longed for your presence and your leadership, myself included.
It seems fitting to view this as a new beginning for the Black Eagle Strike Force. We already have our target.
Yes, we must eliminate the Alliance before moving on to fight the Kingdom and the Church. However, that doesn't necessarily mean we must occupy the entirety of the Alliance. House Rican stands against the Empire. Therefore, our target is Deirdre, the aquatic capital.
We must cross the Aramid River, which separates the Empire and the Alliance. To do that, we must take the largest bridge across it. The Great Bridge of Myrden. Myrden connects the monastery and the Imperial capital to the east. It is the shortest route there.
An Alliance stronghold has been built at the Great Bridge. We'll take that and then head north. At the same time, we must defeat the one who defends it, Judith von Daphne. If we can also take control of Daphnel territory, it would be greatly beneficial to us. Prepare yourselves. The next battle will be a momentous one. Join me, my friends, as we begin our journey to bring peace and solace to this war-ravaged world.
This may seem a bit sudden, but I want to thank you, Professor. That is, for letting me live my life the way I want. I've noticed you've been giving me fewer of those soul-revealing gazes lately. I appreciate you making an effort to not trouble yourself over who I spend my time with. Well, of course. Did you think I wouldn't notice? It's kind of sweet in its own way. Professor, may I tell you a story about when I was younger? I was an orphan, living in the back alleys of Enbar, until one day I was overheard singing. That was when my new life began. I was suddenly a songstress in the Mittelfrank Opera Company. Performers, nobility. I met so many people. But none of them ever really knew me. I was just some young, pretty girl who could sing. A spectacle to be admired. Even though everyone praised my looks and my voice, and they showered me with gifts, I knew one day I'd be old. My looks would fade, my voice would change. I wouldn't sound the same. And I started to wonder, when I did get old, what would I have left? I'd be old, alone, and back on the streets of the capital, right where I'd started. You can never be certain about what the future will bring. I never had much to begin with in life, and I worry that one day I'll be that way again. That's why I keep searching for someone who will love me. Someone unaware of the songstress, who can love a girl that used to be scared and alone on the streets of the capital. I wonder if such a strange person can even exist. Learning these things gives me great difficulty.
Our voices are all over the place. We must learn to work together in harmony.
Apologies for bothering you so late. I just really wanted to speak with you. Thank you. You see, I've been feeling conflicted about my future. It may seem petty to worry about such things in the middle of a war like this. This isn't something I open up about with many people. Feeling such a sense of inner turmoil while a war rages on, and others are fighting with all they have, well, it feels a little selfish. The truth is, I've wanted to be a knight ever since I was a small child. Not just any knight, like one you might find serving within the castle guard, but a true knight, one serving a master. However, my father has always had different plans for me. He wants me to marry, for the benefit of the Galatea family. Defying my father feels wrong. I've seen how he struggled over the years. His burden has always been far greater than any I've had to bear myself. While he fed me extravagant meals, he subsisted on meager portions and watered-down soups. He never once complained, even though he must have been starving. Knowing his sacrifices, I've never been able to tell him of my dream of becoming a knight. Although ultimately, I find myself betraying his wishes. Now that I've parted ways with my father, there is nothing to stop me from pursuing my dream. But even if I do become a knight, I feel an unease deep within me. I fear I will never escape this guilt I carry, that I have shunned my duty as a noble. To follow both my dream and my duty? I had never considered that as an option. Perhaps there is a way. Even with the academy days long behind us, you're still a professor through and through. Always listening to others' troubles and offering up your wisdom. I really am grateful for all that you do for us, Professor. I hope you'll always be here as a guide to everyone. I know I myself would appreciate that deeply.
Gardening with you is a lot of fun, Lady Edelgard.
I feel the same. You know so much about it, Bernadetta.
I looked after flowers a lot back home. I like them. They don't talk, they don't get angry, they don't hit you. And they're sweet.
They are sweet. Unlike people, they can all be trusted on sight.
You're sweet too, Lady Edelgard. I mean, not sweet, but, you know what I mean. You can talk or even get angry all you want.
Well, I'll strive to avoid getting angry.
You're really kind. I'm less scared of you than I used to be. Most nobles are terrifying. I've had lots of bad experiences with them. But getting the chance to talk to you like this makes me glad I came to the monastery.
I'm glad too. I had heard rumors about the reclusive daughter of House Varley, but you're nothing like I imagined.
Rumors? About me? Just pretend you didn't hear anything.
There's no need to be embarrassed. Rumors are meaningless. All that matters is the truth.
You're right. I'm not really a recluse now anyway. Not since I came to the monastery. I won't let the rumors bother me.
I'm happy to hear it. Actually, I should thank you.
Thank me? What for? Wait, do you mean you need to thank me for all the times I've made you mad? You do, don't you?
That mind of yours. No, I mean the grateful sort of thanks. Before I met you, I was more prone to anger. But now I've changed in that regard. So, thank you for that. Oh, I suppose you're not listening.
Oh, I'm done for! 5 years worth of resentment is about to crash down on me all at once! Ah!
It's okay, Bernadetta. I'm thanking you, not attacking you.
Oh, I jumped to conclusions again, didn't I?
You did, yes. But don't worry about it. Enough talk, don't you think? Let's take care of these sweet little plants.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Bernadetta, I hope you'll keep spending time with me.
Of course I will. Hey, look! This flower's just about ready to bloom.
So it is. I can't wait to see its true colors.
Excuse me, Ash. Do you have a moment? I finally managed to finish cooking a dish, and I would love for you to have a taste.
Sounds good. I'd be happy to. Wow, Mercedes. This is delicious.
I used that herb you suggested. Boiling it gave off such a lovely aroma. I think I used the right amount of spice, too. Even I could eat it without burning my tongue. I'm a much better cook now, thanks to you. I hope you can continue teaching me.
Oh, definitely. I should thank you, too.
Thank me? Even after all the trouble I've caused you?
Seeing you persevere has made me really happy. In fact, you've reminded me of someone I cared about a lot.
Oh, someone you cared about? Romantically? This is all so sudden, Ash. I don't...
I didn't mean it that way. I was actually thinking about my brother.
What a relief. I didn't even know you had a brother.
He was the son of Lenato, my adoptive father. I always called him my brother, though. Failure never got to him. All he'd ever do is laugh and try again. Whenever I was feeling down about a setback, he would cheer me up. He'd say something like, "Don't worry, we'll tackle it together next time." I was always happy to have him around.
He sounds like a wonderful person.
He was. And I get the same feeling from you.
I've done nothing but bother you with frivolous little things. I'm sure I could never be like your brother. But I'd like to stay by your side, if you'll have me.
What do you mean?
I want to be there to help you in times of need, or to cheer you up when you're feeling down. I should be able to manage that without doing too much damage.
I'm glad to hear you say that. Thank you, Mercedes. I know I can rely on you.
Training was exhausting today. Need some quick energy. Aha! Perfect time for my favorite candy! I won't make it back to my room without this sweet, sweet energy, and no one's around, so...
Looky here. It's the little lady of House Ordelia. Just back from training, yeah? You're unstoppable. Not feeling chatty, I see. Something to do with those puffy cheeks? Got a cavity brewing or what?
I definitely don't!
So bad you can't even speak properly, poor thing. It's okay, I know a guy. He'll have that rotten tooth out in no time.
No need!
Yep, best in the business. Uses special tools and everything. Door and a string or some such.
No, thank you.
Oh, you just had food in your mouth. You could have told me that a lot sooner, you know.
Wow, placing the blame on me? What a piece of work. But, hey, don't tell anyone.
That you were walking around with acorn-stuffed cheeks like some kind of overzealous squirrel?
It wasn't acorns, it was candy.
Even still, I don't plan on telling anyone a hungry girl ate some food. Not much of a story, really.
You don't get it. If people think I'm gnawing on candy, they'll think I'm nothing more than a child.
That a fact? I'd say it's downright prudent to fortify yourself any chance you get. Mature, even.
Wait, what?
Nothing is certain in life, not even your next meal. You never know when you'll be taken into custody and have to go without food and drink for a while. My life is a collection of getting into trouble, getting caught, and getting free. One time, I was actually rescued by your parents. Bet you didn't know that, huh?
They rescued you?
Too true. I owe them for that. I forgot I'm actually in a rush. I gotta run. Enjoy your secret candy, pal.
Mother and father rescued that guy? But when would that have happened?
Remember when you mentioned briefly that you'd been in conference with some nobles? Did the topic of conversation happen to be me?
I haven't the foggiest idea what you're talking about.
Don't be coy with me. I recently received an offer of support from the Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Bravo! Your dream of restoring your house is that much closer now, isn't it?
We shall see. My response is on hold until I could confirm something first. You sound as befuddled as I feel. These are events you set in motion, are they not? I want only the truth from you. Lie to me and you shall be incinerated.
That doesn't leave me much wiggle room, does it? All right, I'll tell you. So yeah, I might have been negotiating with some nobles. Maybe. Possibly.
You do recall that I have nothing I can offer you in return, yes?
Of course I know that. I just did what I needed to get what I wanted. Like always.
Explain.
All my life, I've known how to angle to get everything I've ever wanted. Money, social standing, the whole kit and caboodle. See? That's how the savage mockingbird lives. Ever since I was a kid. It's how I've done things.
What does that have to do with... Wait, are you admitting to being the savage mockingbird?
And I find myself wanting in on this house of yours. The one you've yet to rebuild.
What? No, wait. You haven't yet answered my question about the savage...
Preened as this bird might be, his only home is a dark, red back alley. As long as I'm me, nothing can change that. So I figured, if I could leave that home of mine and live simply as Yuri, even if only for a while, you know, I might like somewhere proper to return to. Somewhere cozy, comfy even. Better than House Row, where last I left from.
I'm not sure what you're insinuating here.
I'll get your house back for you. And I only ask for one thing as payment. Once House Nouvelle is back in good standing, I want a home there.
You mean you wish to join House Nouvelle? But the only way to do that...
Marriage. Bingo. Quick, easy, simple.
You and I. Spouses.
You heard me. It's a fine enough trade. What's the problem?
I mentioned nothing about a problem. Where did you get that notion? I've always found you very useful, though I could do with less, much less of your backtalk.
I suppose Milady doesn't want a rogue for a husband. Can't handle all that is Yuri,
No, but there is a procedure to this sort of thing. How can you join my house when I have none?
What? You want to do things in order? How boring. I suppose we'll be lovers for now.
You mock me! You mock me and I will not have it!
Me? Mock? I'm being sincere. I'd never live out another dull day with you by my side.
That is my only fear. A life spent by your side may be more taxing than I could stand.
Seeing you so flustered provides endless entertainment.
I can't believe how long it's been since I left home. Since I was dragged out of the house, I mean. 5 whole years. It's weird to think about. At first, I remember I was desperate to go back, but now it's the opposite. I have friends here, and I have you. The monastery's become a second home to me. Back then, I never would have dreamed a day like this would come. It's all thanks to you. You've given me a second chance at life. If not for you, I never would have gotten used to leaving my room, let alone the monastery. Maybe the battlefields just dulled my senses. I'm much better with strangers and new places now, though. I don't panic nearly as much as before. A new place? All on my own? That sounds like a tough assignment. Where did this come from all of a sudden? Hey, hold on. You're teasing me, aren't you? Please don't joke around like that anymore. It's torture for me. You're still not taking me seriously. I mean it. Promise me you won't do that again. Friends respect each other's feelings, don't they? Good. I'll hold you to that. You're absolutely not allowed to send me out anywhere on my own. Got it? You would need to come with me. If you're with me, I can go anywhere in the world. No, that defeats the purpose. Why can't you get what I'm saying? Oh, that's enough. I need some time alone.
That hurts. Ah, Professor. Thanks for stopping by. It's not bad. I was even told I'd be cleared for service starting tomorrow. Besides, I got this scar fighting for you. It's almost like a medal or something. I certainly meant it when I said it, but when I thought you were going to be killed for real, my reflexes kicked in. I reacted without thinking. It doesn't mean I've stopped being jealous of you. But come on, I can't help but look up to you. If I'd had the guts to run away from home, I wonder if I would have cared as little about my crest as you do yours. No. But if I thought I could have escaped, I would have tried. I'd leave behind House Gautier, and the life of a nobleman, and anybody who knew I had a crest. Our home is to the very north of the kingdom. Just across the mountains from us is land inhabited by foreigners to Fodlan. Right now, it actually belongs to Fargus, but I can't say we're on good terms with the people there. Anyway, that land has been contested for centuries, and all that time, it has fallen to House Gautier to protect it. Actually, our Lance of Ruin has been doing most of the protecting. Those were dangerous times. One wrong step, and we would have lost our relic to the church. My father was afraid that the church would try to keep the lance, so he entrusted it to me. If an emergency arose, I was supposed to be called back home. I guess those very situations are why my family values crests so much. Since I bear a crest, my parents made sure I was never left wanting. My older brother didn't have one, and so when I was born, he was pushed aside. You know, he once shoved me in a well. He left me on the mountainside in the middle of winter, too. Even as a little kid, I understood why he was like that. My mere existence stole everything from him. I have no right to complain when I am surrounded by people who would give anything to bear a crest, but do not. Now, women smile at me for the same reason my parents adore me, and my brother wanted me dead. And I have to meet them all with a smile and a wink, because I have a crest. The women who just want to use me to become nobility? Hatred's probably the right word. Though, in the end, that's just an easy answer. I don't even know how I truly feel about it all. Anyway, it was pretty unreasonable of me to resent you. I'm really sorry about that. And I want to say thank you, Professor. Seriously, thank you. Before I met you, I'd gone my whole life not knowing there was another way for me to live. So, from the bottom of my heart, I'm glad we met.
Dear Goddess, I ask for guidance. Professor, you're always watching over me, aren't you? I've spent my entire life avoiding people. Speaking to others was so difficult for me, so I made a point to always be alone. Animals and the goddess were the only ones I could really open up to. Do you remember the time you asked what it was I prayed for? Yes, but that wasn't the case. Back then, I felt that my life served no purpose, and that I was nothing more than a burden. In truth, I was begging the goddess to take me to her. That was my daily prayer. But now I fear the idea of dying and being left alone. I have friends who accept me for who I am now, in spite of my crest. And I have you watching over me. I finally learned to accept the kindness and warmth of others. It's because of you, Professor. Because of you, I've decided to live. I'm sorry to have worried you, but I'm all right now. Even if I'm separated from you or any of my friends, the memories I've made here will give me the strength to continue on. Oh, I'm sure I'll have the strength to move forward if we're together.
Pardon me.
Hello.
A moment,
Professor.
Do you have a moment, Professor? I need to speak with you. Thank you so much. This is what I wanted to address. This letter from my adoptive father just arrived. Oh, have I not mentioned him? He's the reason I first came to the Officers' Academy. He's also the one who dragged me from the church where I was living, just so he could use my crest. My crest does not yet belong to a house, so he plans to use it as leverage to marry into the nobility. He's a very greedy man who was a roving merchant before adopting me, but now he's in the capital. This letter says that he's finally arranged to marry me off to a wealthy noble. I know he's just thinking of himself, but can't he see that this isn't a priority when we're at war? I don't know what to do about this proposal. I can't see any way around it, so I fear that I must. I just don't want to let go of the life that I've made for myself. I know it's not what my heart wants, but I don't have the strength to say no. I believe I've mentioned this before, but I want to work in service of the church. Well, I suppose it doesn't necessarily have to be the church, but I want to help those in need. If I were to marry a noble, I think it would be difficult to realize that dream. It's just, I've always allowed myself to follow the whims of those above me. I convinced myself that everything in life was at the will of the goddess. I was blind to reality. I believed it was her will to both pull me from the church and guide me to the Officers' Academy. The decision to enter this war was the first time I acted of my own free will. My adoptive father opposed this decision, but I somehow managed to convince him. Still, I couldn't free myself of him completely. This letter is proof of that. It's not that I'm scared of him, but there is something that worries me. I knew you'd understand, Professor. I've sat down to write a reply several times, but I can't muster up the courage or the words. I was hoping you could provide me with the encouragement I need. If I don't, he'll go ahead with the arrangement. I suppose I must aim toward cutting him out of my life completely. Okay. I think that may have been just the push I was looking for. I'll tell him the truth. That I found a life worth pursuing, and I must decline the proposal. Maybe I should tell him I've fallen for someone else. Why, it's you, Professor. Isn't that obvious? I'm just teasing. Now I'm off to write this letter and stand my ground. Thank you for your encouragement.
I need a favor.
Allow me to brief you on the details of our situation. The Empire firmly controls the western portion of Fargus. However, the central and eastern regions continue to put up heavy resistance. The strongholds in these regions are Aryan Road, the fortress city, and Ferdiad, the kingdom capital. We cannot control Fargus until we have taken both of these cities. As for the Alliance, Houses Gloucester and Ordelia seem predisposed to capitulate to us. However, due to interference from Houses Regan and Goneril, we have yet to secure their cooperation. Claude obviously hopes to keep the Alliance whole through diplomacy. But because we have had to focus our efforts against the Church until now, our forces have yet to meet his. We have only recently begun to take the fight to Alliance territory. I have a request for you. Allow me to brief you. We cannot, as for, however, Claude, but we have only...
Professor?
Really now, there's unrest everywhere these days. All of my fellow merchants seem to be endangered. I hope things go back to normal soon. People need more to smile about, aside from my great deals. I hope... Hey, how about a favor?
If you don't mind, I have a favor to ask.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
This is okay. The Burt kept it safe out of the goodness of his heart. Kidding, of course. He said the lowlifes here could be useful, because they won't mind fighting dirty, or rooting out spies. Or something along those lines. I didn't pay much attention to that part. Yeah. Honestly, I'm psyched that you're back. It's all I can do to stop myself from whooping with joy. I could use your help.
Is that... It is you, isn't it? I kinda forgot what you looked like. No doubt. A lot can happen in 5 years. A baby goes from crawling and babbling to walking and talking in that time. Anyway, you came back, and that's what matters. Staying here wasn't a mistake. I can say that much.
I used to be a rather important person in the church, but I am in exile for committing a crime. I embezzled some money, but it wasn't out of greed. My hometown was pillaged, you see, and the church wasn't putting in enough to rebuild. Why, hello there. Come back soon now.
Thanks for giving me a hand.
Professor!
Hey you, listen up. I've got something to report. It's you. You're still alive. It's been 5 whole years, hasn't it? Time flies when you're standing guard. That's right, I've been here the whole time. Day in and day out. Not like I have anywhere else to be. The Imperial Army hasn't interfered with us all that much, so it's business as usual here in Abyss. I mean, as usual as it gets here anyhow.
Oh no. A lot of folks cleared out once the fighting started. People are saying it was the church that used to keep order around here. But it's Yuri who's saving us from complete chaos.
Professor! Need something? See you again soon.
Hey, pal. You've got a lot of nerve coming here after ignoring us for 5 years. Ha! Gotcha! All this time and you still can't take a joke, can you? Good job surviving and clawing your way back to us. This day couldn't get better if it tried. Say, now that you're back, we should celebrate with some liquid gold. We're not your students anymore, so it should be fine, yeah? Oh, I like this idea. We'll make it a wild party. Even the Emperor won't be able to turn it down.
If you haven't heard, we'll soon be launching a full-scale assault on the Alliance. Her Majesty has searched relentlessly for you. Now that you're found, her moment has come. Yes, before then, I had never known her to show such desperate resolve. The stalemate we've been locked in shall give way very abruptly. We have your reappearance to thank for that.
My savior, thank you.
Hi.
Ah! At long last, we meet again. I knew you were alive. I knew you could survive. And 5 years on, you arrive. We're reunited. I'm glad I kept watch for you in the downstream villages all that time. I was so devoted to finding you that I left the Knights of Seros. Now I serve no one other than you. I'll protect you, just as I promised Captain Gerald I would all those years ago.
Professor? Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report. What's that? Do I have brothers in the church? You really are well informed. My older twin works for the Knights of Seros, but I think he's just a grunt, not a noble gatekeeper like yours truly. Unlike me, he's very devout. He left the Empire a long time ago.
A moment, please.
By making an enemy of the church, disorder is running rampant among the populace. It's quieted down over these last 5 years, though. The well-being of Her Majesty is steadily improving.
Yes. His Highness, the new king, is in the process of unifying the kingdom under his command. His powerful army has joined forces with the Knights of Seiros, who moved their seat to Fargus. And now they're presenting a united front against the Imperial army. They're our greatest enemy, absolutely. I don't relish the idea, but there's no turning back now. For now, we should focus our efforts on the Alliance. The Kingdom and Church can come afterwards. Judith, who defends the Great Bridge of Myrden, is a formidable opponent. We can't afford to drop our guard.
I'm relieved you're here, Professor. It seems we've reached a stalemate on the war front. I admit I'm feeling apprehensive about fighting the Alliance. I agree. It's time to shelve my personal feelings and focus on the bigger picture. I'll fight with full force. I'm counting on you to lead us to victory, Professor.
I have good friends in both the Alliance and Fargus, so this fighting weighs heavily on me. I can't bear the thought of battling the Knights of Seiros to the death. I have to keep my chin up though, right? Let's press on together, Professor.
I've been working here for a few years now. There are plenty of others working here too. Since the acolytes and students aren't here, it's up to us to pick up the slack.
Hey!
Hello.
The north side of the Great Bridge of Myrden is in the territory of Acheron of the Alliance. He's known as the Weather Vane. He's a notoriously flippant man. A man like that doesn't have the guts to give it all for the defense of that bridge.
Professor? Hey, Professor. It's been a really long time, hasn't it? The last 5 years have been full of heartbreak. Not from girls, but friends and family becoming enemies. One of the things that kept me going was the hope you'd return. And now here you are. A lot has changed, but you're back. And it's the first time I can remember being happy in a while.
Indeed. House Gloucester will remain staunchly neutral in this war, even if we press into Alliance territory. My father is no threat to the Empire. Lady Edelgard surely understands that. The Great Bridge of Myrden, however, is another story. I hear it is held by Judith of House Daphne. She is renowned for her military prowess. We would do well not to underestimate her.
Professor?
Hey! I thought you might be at the monastery. That's why I made my way here. I decided to follow your path because I believed in you. Then you vanished. Now that you've returned, I have my guiding light once again. Welcome back, Professor.
All right, I'm ready to fight. Let's do this. You're right. I gotta keep it under control or I'm gonna wear myself out too quickly. Maybe I'll just get rid of a few monsters. Or is that too risky right before a mission?
You've survived. How very fortunate. Were you dead, I wouldn't be able to fight you. But you are very much alive. Now I've a chance to kill you.
For 5 years, I've fought for the Empire. I've cut down hordes of enemies. Now I have the same look in my eyes that the boar used to have in his. The look of a savage beast who loves nothing but destruction and violence. I hope not. You and Edelgard must not disappoint me. Mark my words. The future you're building had better be worth all this bloodshed.
Edelgard is controlling the Empire. She is putting the pressure on the Kingdom and Alliance. Empire and religion are at open war. It will be difficult for us at first, but corrupt nobles are many. That means the common people will rebel and be joining our side. With you, Professor, the battle tides will turn. I have certainty.
Hey there. Ah, a new face. I am Randolph von Bergles. I'm the guardian of this place. Wait a moment. I'm sure I've seen you somewhere before. Ah, yes! You're Her Majesty's professor. You're alive? Oh, this is my little sister, Fleisch. She's just a rookie, but she's helping me as my assistant.
Hello, I'm Fleisch von Bergles. It's nice to meet you. I know I'm inexperienced, but I'm gonna do my best. You can count on me to look after my big brother.
I've heard you're planning to march into Alliance territory. I'll be here to guard the fort.
There were clashes with the Kingdom Army near the Western Front, but this is the first time the Alliance Army has had an honest-to-goodness fight. I hear their leader's pretty competent, but the Alliance Army is pretty tough too.
No. Since the great nobles lost their standing, the regulation of the merchant houses has relaxed somewhat. You'd probably have thought that would make it easier for us to profit, but the world isn't so simple. The war has made the price of goods unstable, causing no end of hardship for the people.
The last 5 years have been difficult at times. My relationship with Edelgard is rather contentious, due to the incident with my father. Nevertheless, I cannot abandon my family's duties. As Duke Eyre, I must play my part in the Imperial Army. Edelgard intends to abolish the nobility, but I know I can dissuade her from doing so.
Within the territories of the Alliance, the Gloucester and Daphnel houses dominate the West. House Gloucester has always supported the Empire. There's not much chance of them defying us. So all that needs to be done to restore peace in the West now is to crush House Daphnel.
Hey, Professor. What have you been up to for 5 years? Hope you haven't gone soft. I got myself into perfect shape. Took all 5 years of pushing my muscles to the limit. But look! You bet I do! You gotta get training if you want to catch up.
What's that look on your face? Surprised to see me? I'm a mercenary. Always have been. Even when I was with the Knights of Saros. I never was too attached to Fodlan. I was considering leaving soon, but I might change my mind if you're around.
Are we leaving for battle? I heard it's a long march.
But it's fine. I've had plenty of time to stay inside lately, so I think it's time I run out. Yeah, I can do this. No more Bernie Bear.
Yes, but, Please don't put me up front, okay? I can do this.
Professor! Oh my, it's so good to see you. These days, so many old friends seem to be disappearing. But you're here. It's incredible to see you again after 5 years. I have a feeling your name will go down in history.
Right. My father used to be a knight in service of the royal family of Fargus. For a time, he was at the monastery. But apparently, he's back in Fargus serving as a knight again. Which means, if I fight with this army, I'll eventually have to face my own father. Terribly. But I've accepted my fate. I'm ready for anything. Of course, if at all possible, I would prefer not to fight my father. This is the path I chose. I have no regrets.
Me? After the battle 5 years ago, the Imperial Army occupied Garreg Mach. The cathedral and several other buildings were destroyed, but we've done some repair work here and there, and we're using the buildings as a base of operations. As for me, well, the church moved its headquarters to Fargus, and I've seen no reason to follow. When I returned to Enbar, I received a summons from Her Majesty, and I chose to answer.
Professor, since you came back, everyone's been smiling. Just you being here makes an incredible difference. I can't express how reassuring it is to see you.
Professor? Hey, Professor. The last one of a lot is...
There is still more to learn.
Indeed. House the great she is renowned.
The last... Nevertheless, as do Edelgard...
Who, me? After the we've as when I
Hello. Professor, do you know how happy I was to hear you were still alive? I'll tell you how happy. For the past 2 days, I haven't had my morning or my afternoon naps. Well, as long as we weren't marching. Can't sleep much then. But it's not for want of trying.
You finally joined us, have you? I attached myself to the Imperial Army as well.
seemed the thing to do. I feel I owe it to Edelgard to set my past feelings about the Empire aside. I am happy to help her. It's strange, isn't it? After 5 years, the 3 professors are together once more. I am most curious, though. You say you were asleep for 5 whole years. Incredible. Perhaps this is another effect of your crest. I do look forward to investigating you in greater detail. I'll have to be content with observing you wherever you go then. I cannot waste any opportunity.
Professor, I'm sorry to have dragged you into the fight again so soon after our reunion, but you appeared at a most opportune time. I'm truly humbled by your support, my teacher. Thank you. You may be worried, but you shouldn't be. You always manage to pull through. Make sure you're ready to head out, okay?
It's normal for history to be revised in favor of those who hold the power. The documents in this library are no exception. It's perfectly possible for someone to have made edits to them. But it's my belief that no one has the power to blot out the truth entirely. I like to read the same texts over and over again. That way, I can spot some of the truths hidden between the lines.
Really? I'm so glad to see you're all right. I really regretted not being able to keep the promise I made to my mentor. Captain Gerald told me that if anything should happen to him, then I should stick by you. I'm going to do just what he asked. I'll be right here to support you from now on. Well...
I am perhaps...
Oh, I love that.
This food brings fond memories.
Wow, this is all kinds of tasty.